Hey guys, Cass here, and today I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be checking my goals for the year and also doing the mid-year freakout tag, because all these correlate to it's the middle of the year, what the shit's going on, can I remember what my goals are, and am I doing them right? So first of all, we'll have a little look through the goals. I watched my video and I was very chill with goals this year. I was like, you know what, step back, don't need loads of crazy ones, but we have a few, so let's just jump straight in. So the first goal, this goal I have every single year, and that's to read 50 books. Generally I read twice that much, but to me it's a goal, it's not a challenge. I don't need to challenge myself to read more and more and more every year. I have a goal of reaching 50. So it's always 50, and right now I've read 54, so boom, that is complete. I will not be upping it because 50 is my goal. Next up, one of the things that I kind of forgot about but also I am doing is finish some series. I put an arbitrary number of 5 on my video, which I didn't remember, but so far I've finished 3 series. I've carried on several more. Oh, and also I put the little caveat that it was series that I've already started rather than starting new series and finishing them, because there are a few of those that I've done this year as well. But yeah, I've finished 3. I'm up to date on 1. There is another book out, but I don't own it, so it feels like I've like completed that series, but also I haven't because there's one more. And yeah, there's a few books in my like yearly TBR that will definitely get me to the 5 series finish that I want to do, so definitely on track with that one. My next goal is read 50% of the books that I haul. I've had this goal for the last 3, potentially 4 years, I can't remember, definitely 3 years. But this is so I'm obviously reading my backlist but also reading the books that I'm bringing onto my TBR, because otherwise why are you buying the books if you're not reading them? So far I've read 53% of the books I've hauled, but also I haven't hauled as many as I have in previous years. So for example, the last 2 months I didn't buy any books, so yes, 53% there, nice. Another goal I had was to complete 1 year of hauled books. So basically since 2021 I believe, well maybe 2020, since one of those years anyway, I've been keeping a spreadsheet, and each year I have a spreadsheet of like what I've read, what I've hauled, and then a little TBR that I have each year. And I wanted to complete at least 1 of those years of hauled books. And none of them I got crazy amount on. Most of them, I think it was between like, I don't think any of them apart from obviously 2024 had more than 10 books on, but I'm definitely on my way to completing 2021. So I have 4 books left on my 2021 hauled list. 2 of them I'll be mentioning at the end of this video of like books I still need to read, and the other 2 are Prince's Gambit and King's Rising, which are part of a series which I'll probably just read that whole series this year as well, because I've had it since 2021 and I've really wanted to read it since even before that. So, you know, read the shit in books, read the books, that's what we need to do, we need to read the books. So yeah, definitely on track to completing 2021's hauled books. Nice. Next up, my yearly TBR. I did lower this, so I feel like all of us since 2020 was like, oh, 20 books in 2020, 21 books in 2021, 22 books in 2022, etc. And I was just like, you know what? Why do I keep upping this goal every time when I have other things that I want to read? I want to obviously read books I'm hauling, I want to be able to pick whatever I'm in the mood for. So this year I set it back to 20, and 20 it shall stay. And I've read 9 of the books, and I'm currently reading 2 of the books. So I'm definitely at the right place with that one. The 2 books I'm currently reading is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I'm this far through. And another book that I say I'm currently reading but I haven't really picked up in probably a month is The Worst Journey in the World by Apsley Cherry Garrard. This one I am this far through, but basically I was reading this, and then I think like either last month or the month before I did a readathon and this didn't fit, so I have left this by the wayside, but I definitely want to keep reading it because I'm enjoying it. It's a lot because it's non-fiction, polar expeditions, but I am enjoying it, and yeah, it still counts as a book that is on there that I've started reading. So boom. And then the last goal this one is not bookish, but it's also the one that I'm doing the worst on. So my last goal was actually like putting out my travel vlogs, and I was adamant. I was like, yes, this month I'm going to be putting out this one. I didn't. Like 3 or 4 months later, I put out the one that I said I was going to put out when I did my goals video. So basically, I had 3 vlogs that I needed to put out. I had Berlin, Wrocław and Budapest. I have now put out Berlin. Yay! We've got it down to 2. We haven't got it down to 2 because since then I've gone to Prague, so now I have 3 again to do. So I really need to get these 2 done, because both of these were in October. Wrocław and Budapest were in October, so I need to get them out, and then I can get my Prague one out, and then, you know, keep on top of it. We'll see. But yes, I definitely am still going to put them out. When is the question? Soon is the answer that I always say and then never actually stick to. But yeah, that is something that I want to prioritise. I need to get them out because they're just sat there existing, and I'll have fun watching them back because I'll be like, oh no way, that stuff happened, I remember that. So yeah, my travel vlogs don't even necessarily get that many views. It's more for me because I can rewatch it and it's just fun and cool, but a few people seem to enjoy them because they do comment whenever I mention it. They're like, yeah, put them out, and then I don't. So yeah, there we go. Those were the goals. You see, not loads, not a crazy amount, a decent amount, a chill amount. But we're also going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag. But before that, let's head on over to a message from one of the spons, and then I'll be back with the freakout tag. So, we have it here. Let's get into it. The first question is best book you've read so far. And this one I was umming and ahhing about. But I decided to go with Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. This is non-fiction about Jon Krakauer climbing Mount Everest and then being on an expedition at a time where a lot of stuff went wrong for a lot of the expeditions that year, and many people died, several from his party, and it was like the biggest or one of the most drastic death tolls that had happened on Mount Everest. And he was there just by chance, also a journalist who was going to write about it anyway. And this is so good, it's so interesting, and yeah, read it, it's awesome. There's a lot of things in here that I didn't really know about because I don't really know much about Mount Everest. Obviously I knew to a point that it's very commercialised, and like I've seen pictures of people going up there and there being like a massive queue because there's just too many people climbing Everest now. It's not an achievement anymore, it's something that rich people do to be able to say they've done it, and then the Sherpa just does all the work. But yeah, it's a really interesting book. I definitely highly recommend it for anybody who enjoys non-fiction, who's interested in Everest, who just wants to intrigue. There's obviously some death there as well, but it's really good, which is why it's like my favourite book of the year so far. Next question is best sequel, and this was the book that I was umming and ahhing about, which is the best book. So this is a good thing because I can just answer it for this next question, and that is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This is the second book after The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I loved it. It was really good. It's basically about an orphanage where kids with powers stay, and it's about government, and it's about family, found family, and it's just so good. And I love this book. I love this continuation. All of the characters are still as enjoyable, still as lovable. We have a new character here, and yeah, it's just really good. I really enjoyed this, and I'm glad it wasn't a disappointment, because I feel like a lot of time when a first book's really good, the sequels can be a little bit of a letdown, but this was not, so boom. The next 2 questions I'm just gonna like say. So question 3 is new release you haven't read but you want to, and question 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I don't have an answer for this. I don't keep up with new releases, I don't know anything that's coming out, and I feel like me searching for something to see what's coming out kind of defeats the purpose of this question, because I'm not anticipating anything, I'm not looking forward to anything, because I don't know what's coming out. So I don't need to like force that anticipation by doing research for this question. The answer is just no. There isn't anything that I haven't read but want to that's come out this year that I can like think about, and there isn't an anticipated release because I never know what's coming out. So let's just move on to the next one. So question 5 is biggest disappointment, and for this one I'm going with Witches. It's called Witches Volume 1. There was never another volume released, but we'll just go with Witches Volume 1. I like creepy, dark, horror-y, thriller-y comics, so I was expecting to like this, but unfortunately it was kind of naff, which is why I don't own it anymore. But yeah, I wasn't really keen on the art style, the storyline didn't grab me. It was just a bit meh, so yeah, a bit disappointed. But not crazy disappointed. I think I gave it like 3 stars. It wasn't like horrifically terrible, but it was disappointing. The next question is biggest surprise, and this one was kind of hard. I was looking through, I was like, nothing that I was crazily surprised by, but I've picked All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown for this, just because I really enjoyed this. I gave it 5 stars, and I don't give out 5 stars very often, so that's kind of surprising. This is like an apocalyptic type thing. The world's kicking off, and then these 2 characters are trying to exist in that world. And I just really enjoyed it. I really love the dynamic of the characters. I think the storyline was great. This is one of those books, you know, when I was talking about House on the Cerulean Sea and then I really like the sequel. I really want to read the sequel to this, but also I'm scared in case it's just naff, because when I read Wranglestone, I really enjoyed it, and then the sequel, Timberdark, I thought was like meh. So I'm scared that I'm going to really enjoy this and then the sequel is going to be meh. But I still want to read it, but I'm a bit scared. This is multiple perspectives, these 2 characters that meet, join up, and it's just really good. The next question is favourite new author, and again, this one is like a little caveat because I've read 1 book by them, so I can't say they're a favourite new author, but it's a new author that I really enjoyed, so we'll go with that. And this book is Now Conjurers by Freddie Kolsch. I really enjoyed this book. It's about a group of friends in the 90s. One of them is murdered, and then they're trying to figure out what the shit's going on. And like some weird stuff's at play, some weird time things at play, some weird creepiness is at play. And magical stuff is also at play. And yeah, I thought this one was a really good book, and I have actively looked for this author's other books, so I guess it counts as like favourite new author because I'm actively seeking reading more by this author, so I feel like it counts, but I definitely can't say they're a favourite new author after having read 1 book, because who knows, it might be a one-off, but we'll see. I'm apprehensively excited about reading more from this author, so yeah, very much enjoyed. Question 8 is newest favourite character, and I actually crossed this off the list like the most anticipated release of things because I thought I can't think of a newest favourite character. But then when I was talking about Somewhere Beyond the Sea, I mentioned the new character in that one. I can't remember his name, but he's a Yeti. So I'm going to say he's my favourite new character. A lot of the things I've read this year are stuff that's like sequels, so it's not new characters, or stuff that I enjoyed but the characters are not like something that sticks out. So we're going to go with that guy, the Yeti dude from that book. Counts. I would hold it up again, but I just threw it on my computer chair and it's all the way over there now, so I'm not going to. You get it. The next question is a book that made you cry. And for this one, I'm going with Just Saying by Mallory Blackman. This is non-fiction, just about Mallory Blackman's life, going through her childhood, her trying to become an author, and then as she's become an author, there's a lot about health struggles, there's a lot about family. But like specifically, there is a poem in here about how she lost her first child, and like I was bawling throughout nearly the whole of that. Like I read a little bit, I got a little bit in, my eyes started tearing up, and then like it's maybe like 5 pages or something and I was just proper like, fully crying as I read that poem. So yeah, definitely counts for this one. Also just a great book in general. The next question is a book that made you happy, and this could be interpreted in a lot of different ways. You could even have like a book that's about like dark shit that makes you happy, because you might think like, oh, this is amazing. But I've gone with like the opposite of cry. It's not really the opposite, but kind of. Laugh. Happy, laugh. This book, As Good As It Gets by Ramesh Ranganathan. This is again non-fiction about Ramesh's life, but it's more him like putting certain stories to certain thoughts. So each chapter is maybe 2, 3, 4 pages long, and it's just like little musings But I definitely laughed out loud several times whilst reading this, so it counts as making me happy. Laughing. It doesn't happen very often. Laughing at a book is rare for me, so boom. The next question is the most beautiful book that you've got this year, and that will definitely go to Lila and the Blue Fox by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. This is a hardback. Let me try and give you it in its full glory. So here we are. It's a bit shiny, and then we'll have these little end pages, the little fox's paw prints, and then when you go into the story, we have pages that are like this and have minimal writing on. There are pages with all the writing on, but we're not trying to look at that. And we have pages like this that has like acetate sheets. So, and then now it's on this bit, and there's just illustrations, and it's just really nice and pretty. So yeah, it definitely counts for this one. Ooh, look at all them words, but also pictures. 100% this one. And this book is about Lila, or Layla probably, Layla, and the Arctic fox that's going from like the northern Arctic bit across to Canada. Her mum is like a scientist, and she's following the path of this fox. But it's also about family, it's about immigration, it's about feeling like you don't belong, trying to find places you do belong. It's really good. It's a middle grade book, like highly recommend for everybody and all the people. And the last question is need to read by the end of the year. So I've just got the other books in my 2025 TBR. I mentioned that I've read 9. I'm currently reading 2, which I've already shown you. These 2. So the other books on my 2025 TBR, which I need to read this year, are the sequels to And I Darken, which are Bright We Burn and Now I Rise by Kirsten White. I'm really enjoying the first book, so glad I can carry it on. I'm glad that I'm going to force myself to actually carry it on now and not like wait a year until I read the next one and then forget all the story. You know, speaking of that, Sea Sparrow by Kristen Cashore. I've been reading like one of these books a year for some reason, even though I've absolutely loved this series. So that fits into this category. Like, why have you waited so long to read it? I don't know. I know it's going to be great. But yes, this one, I think this is the last book in this series as well, so very much looking forward to that one. I have Shackleton by Roland Huntford. This was one of the ones that's on my 2021 hauled list as well. You know how I said there was a couple of books on there, and if I read them, then I've completed my 2021 hauled books. This is the other one that's on there, and that is The Dark Vault by V. Schwab. So boom, 2 goals, 2 books, yeah. Although I think that's technically 2 books in there, but we'll take it. And then the last 3 are Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is another one I read Scarlet ages ago. I don't know why I haven't carried it on yet. I'm that person. We have The Witches of Ardo by Anya Bergman. Luckily this is a standalone, so it's not something that I've just accidentally forgot to read. But this one is The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakavic. Why haven't I read this yet? Because I'm scared in case it's not good, or in case it doesn't live up to the hype. But I don't even have any hype, but I'm also scared because this is like the spin-off series from All for the Game, which is something I love. And I reread All for the Game in October when I got the special editions, because I was like, oh, I'll reread them and then I'll read this one. And now it's July the next year and I still haven't read it because I'm scared. But the one after this is already out, so that's a bonus. So maybe if I read this, I'll actually not wait years to read the next one. But I probably will, because it's who I am. But yes, there we go. Those are all the books that are on my 2025 TBR. Still left to go, but I am halfway through the year and halfway through the stack, so on the right track. Although I have noticed that I've left all the big ones to the end, which I do every year for some reason. I always put a mixture of stuff on my TBRs. I'm like, oh, we'll put some fantasy, we'll put some non-fiction, we'll put a few graphic novels. I always end up reading the graphic novels and like the contemporary. I always read them ones first, and then I end up with a big stack. But I know I'm going to enjoy these, so I need to read them. But yeah, let me know down below any answers to any of these questions that you want to. Or have you got any goals that you're winning, losing? Did you forget about them? Did you look at your goals and be like, oh shit, I forgot about that and it's halfway through the year? let me know down below. It's kind of what it's there for. We'll converse. And yeah, do the things if you want. Like, comment, subscribe, but only if you want. But also comment, because it's fun to comment back. But I'll be back in a few days with another video. Bye.